This video contains scenes from a game rated M for mature by the ESRB for depictions of blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, sexual content, and strong language. Hello gamers, I'm Spiderlaw, and welcome to another The Family Video Gamers review. In today's video, we review the Order 1886, developed by Ready at Dawn and released exclusively for the PlayStation 4 on February 20th, 2015. Ready at Dawn is the same development team that brought us the critically acclaimed Okami, as well as the portable entries of the God of War series. It must be stated that prior to its release, the Order 1886 had already been subject to endless troves of negative criticism from every corner around the internet. The most common complaints were lack of gameplay, its cinematic focus, and overall short length. During the course of this review, we will go over each of these complaints and explain whether or not we agree with them in any way. Let's first start off with presentation. The Order 1886 takes place in an alternate history London, where King Arthur's Knights of the Round Table has survived throughout time due to the discovery of a mystery healing agent known as Black Water, and are now more commonly known as Knights of the Order. You play as tough as nails and exceedingly experienced Grayson, a Knight of the Order that is the third of which to bear the title of Sir Galahad. Using the mysterious and foggy setting of Victorian-era London, Ready at Dawn was able to create an irreproachable level in terms of graphical detail, and that is exactly where the Order 1886 strength lies, in its graphics presentation. The game is beautiful and ugly in all the right ways. What is beautiful about the game is the detail in the weather and how it affects the atmosphere and environments. The fog that London is known for is carefully detailed with its flowing movement and how it builds moisture on objects and on the ground. The architecture, or how Galahad puts it, cursed progress, is also one of the more beautiful aspects of the presentation, with structural detail involved in the brick and mortar makeup of the evolving city during London of 1886. On top of all that, each character is detailed from head to toe. There is huge amounts of intricate detail in the stitching and cloth of each character's entire ensemble. The facial animation is equal to a CGI movie, with the more experienced knights having facial features rendered in full detail, with pores on their faces and wrinkles around the rough edges. What is done right about what's ugly in the game is the Lycan's frightful appearance. Their skin is rendered in full detail with scabs and wrinkles. They are also built with a wolf-like structure, as well as having the hair that covers their entire body. With that said, Ready at Dawn's crowning achievement is the graphics presentation, as the Order 1886 now stands at the top as the game to beat in the graphics department. One of the complaints that the game has received around the web is that its cinematic focus has brought upon an aspect ratio normally reserved for movies. Most games take up the whole screen at 1080p and with an aspect ratio of 16:9, but this time the developers had decided on making the game 1080p but with the resolution of 1920x800 by including two black bars, one at the bottom and one at the top. Overall, we feel that this is not a problem with its presentation, and that it does exactly as it was intended to. It adds a cinematic feel to the Order 1886 that never feels out of place or distracting in any way, but rather adds to the immersion already offered by this title. Now, on to the campaign. As previously stated, the game revolves around Sir Galahad, a Knight of the Order during an alternate history version of Victorian-era London in the year 1886. The gameplay is an over-the-shoulder, cover-focused, third-person shooter. The combat feels like it lands somewhere in between Epic's Gears of War and Naughty Dog's Uncharted. The movement doesn't feel as heavy as Gears of War, and it doesn't feel as light as Uncharted either, especially not having a jump button other than when you actually need to climb. But it still plays similar to both titles in its overall movement. As you play through the story, you fight against the rebellion using alternate reality weapons developed or modified by historically famous electrical scientist Nikola Tesla. Some of the weapons offer a secondary firing, such as the combo gun, that allows you to choose a different approach to taking down the opposition. Other weapons are more science-based, such as the TS-21 arc induction lance, which allows you to charge up and shoot electrical bolts to take down the stronger enemies in a single hit. One of the weapons that brings about one of the more unique ways to play is the M86 thermite rifle that allows you to spray the opposition with thermite fuel and then ignite them in a fiery blaze with a projectile flare. The gunplay and movement is where 1886 is solid and fun, but the enemy's AI leaves much to be desired. They will simply scurry about, rarely find cover, and typically do not react to their support falling around them from my gunfire. You will quite often see an enemy walking in the open, get shot down, and another enemy will follow exactly in their same footsteps. Also, the Lycan encounters are as simple as they can get. You can stand in one place, let the Lycan repeat its one attack, dodge with the X button, and then shoot it till it's dead, and pretty much wash, rinse, and repeat. We won't spoil anything, but there are instances during the story where the combat against the Lycan will change to a knife fight in a quick time event type manner. But overall, we feel that there should have been much more involved in taking down the half-breeds, so it was a bit of a letdown in those regards. The story itself is compelling enough to grab your attention, especially if you are a fan of the mythological folklore of werewolves and vampires. However, characters other than Sir Galahad are not nearly developed enough for you to take much interest in their past. As an example, the more outspoken and intriguing character, Lafayette, never has his history touched on whatsoever, so in the end you never feel any lasting attachment or desire to research any of the characters. The campaign is pretty short as well, lasting only around 6 hours. So, let's summarize and talk about replayability. The Order 1886 only has one mode, the single-player campaign. The campaign can be played on 3 different levels, easy, medium, and hard. With the game set on medium, it takes roughly 6 hours to complete. However, the game does little to invite gamers to come back and play the game more than once. A trophy hunter would want to play through the campaign multiple times to unlock all the trophies and earn an easy platinum. However, gamers that are not interested in trophies might only play through it once more just to gawk at the awe-inspiring graphics or to simply experience the short but overall well-told story. Overall, the replayability is the weakest point of the Order 1886. There just isn't enough to warrant multiple playthroughs. It's strange, too, that Ready at Dawn did not include a multiplayer mode in any form. This game could have easily had a split-screen or online co-op mode to play through the campaign with a friend. Perhaps even a Lycan survival mode, just something to make that $60 price tag worth it in the end. So, with the single-player campaign lasting only 6 hours with no replayability, the complaints around the internet of a very short game are very much a valid complaint. While some might take it to the extreme stating you can run through it in less than 5 hours, who would buy a game just to run through it? It is short, just not as short as some might try to make it out to be. Although there is only enough content for a single playthrough, there is enough there for gamers to have fun and thoroughly enjoy it that one time. And lastly, the ESRB rating and what it means for gamers wanting to play the Order 1886. The ESRB gave the game a rating M for mature, for blood and gore, intense violence, nudity, sexual content, and strong language. Another area that even the ESRB forgets to mention is that there is a strong alcohol content in the game. One particular scene has the main protagonist drinking absinthe at a brothel. That being said, the family video gamers agree with this rating and believe that the Order 1886 should be played by adults over the age of 17. The blood and gore is pretty severe in some parts of the game, as body parts fill the open space, and there are also scenes where a Lycan will be munching on a human corpse. Also, this being an action shooter, where you are required to kill human beings and Lycans in some gruesome ways, there is a lot of intense violence. In particular, the stealth section of the game requires you to pull a giant knife from your back and slice an unsuspecting guard across his throat, or through his abdomen. From there, a large amount of the story involves an opposing faction known as the Rebellion, where their home base is a brothel. There is a portion of the game where you visit this brothel, and where there is a prostitute walking around with exposed breasts and talking to their male customers about intercourse. Also, the F-bomb and other cuss words can be heard throughout the game from the main characters, enemies, and the main protagonist. All the adult content is why we believe the Order 1886 is best left to adults. We give the PlayStation exclusive, the Order 1886, a good 7 out of 10.
Hi! We're the Family Video Gamers. Thank you for watching our video.
If you enjoyed our video, please click the subscribe button and links to our Facebook page, Twitter, and Instagram in the video description below.
Be sure to check us out when you can.
Also be sure to leave a comment below with any questions, concerns, or ideas. Thanks and...
Game on!